Let me bring in the former Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Inusa Fuseni. Mr. Fuseni, welcome to the Pulse on Joy News.
Thank you, and how are you?
I'm doing good, and I trust you are doing well too. Happy New Year to you.
Good. Same to you, same to you.
So two issues I want to pick your brains on. First is this decision by the General Legal Council to debar Samuel Nikwe Tete, who was a Chief of State Attorney at the Office of the Attorney General, for failing to explain how 400,000 Ghana cedis came from Alfred-Abusi Woyome and ended up in the wife's account. I mean, as a lawyer, this must sound very disgraceful for you.
No, it's actually very sad and worrying because the legal profession, before a person becomes a lawyer, you have to go through rigorous training. If a person starts at the University of Ghana or any other university, you require 3 years of undergrad studies, and then you proceed to the Ghana School of Law and you do 2 years. So you have 5 years. So it requires a lot of hard work, and that's a profession that is many people are envious of. Many people want to be lawyers. And it's a status symbol too as well. When you become a lawyer, your name changes in the community in which you are. You are no longer called your name, but you're called lawyer so. And so for it to happen to Nikwe Tete is really, really very sad. And I'm very, very sad. I know Nikwe Tete. I know he was hardworking and diligent. But the legal profession too upholds professional conduct. Nobody working within the legal regime, if you want the legal setup, should do anything to subvert the course of justice. And it becomes gross professional misconduct if prosecuting officer or an officer of the Attorney General's Department or a lawyer for that matter is seen to be dealing in an unprofessional way with an accused person, and so, or a person under investigation. And so that is the worry. I mean, even though I have tremendous sympathies for Nikwe, his inability to explain how 400,000 Ghana cedis of Woyome's money, which money was acquired in the way that we have questions to answer. I mean, he should have questions to answer. Which money has been declared monies belonging to the state, found its way to Nikwe's account, is something that is troubling and bothers me really, really too much. I feel sorry for him. I have sympathies for him. He can appeal against the decision.
I was coming to that. I was coming to whether he can appeal.
He can appeal against the decision, especially the sentence. I mean, to impose a lifetime ban on Nikwe Tete appears to be too harsh. And that's my view. I think that he can appeal the sentence and see whether the General Legal Council can treat him more leniently than imposing a lifetime ban on him. But to be honest with you, it's really, really troubling.
But remember that in the course of this case, the state against Mr. Woyome, this same lawyer was representing the state. At some point came to the conclusion the case had not case. And now we are getting to understand perhaps what may have informed that position he espoused back then.
Yeah, that's exactly what we are saying. I'm on the same force with you. That look, so if the 400,000 Ghana cedis of Woyome's money found its way into Nikwe Tete's account, and Nikwe Tete was the prosecutor or was handling the matter and made decisions, which decisions subsequent events will show that those decisions were influenced largely by the amount of money or by the money given to him by Woyome, then it becomes gross professional misconduct and a subversion of justice. And probably that's why the General Legal Counsel takes a very dim view of his conduct.
So for folks at the Auditor General, the Attorney General's office, I mean, what lessons can be drawn from this? Hello, Mr. Nusa. Right. So connection issues.
It's not only to. It's not only. Yes, the connection is not
yes,
stable.
I think it's better now.
For lawyers at the Attorney General's department. I think it's not only for lawyers at the Attorney General's department. It is for all lawyers. For all lawyers. I mean, the case became serious because he is working at the Attorney General's office, where a state attorney compromises the interests of the state. That is gross misconduct. And so clearly, even though the case, he was working at the Attorney General's department at the time that the thing happened, it goes for all lawyers, including myself, to be aware that when dealing with clients, particularly where you are serving the interests of another party, you should be wary of dealing with a party who is not your client. You should be very wary. I mean, and that can lead to a debarment. And so clearly, it's for all lawyers. They want it to all lawyers. I mean, it's clearly not acceptable within the legal profession.
Mr. Hussein, before I let you go, we've also been chewing on this bone thrown at us by the president yesterday morning when he undertook that massive shake-up of his administration. Now, today we've been told by your former colleague in Parliament, Member of Parliament for Bodi in the Western North region, that there's no representation in the ministerial setup of the Akufo-Addo administration by anybody from the Western North region, and that for him, that's a constitutional breach. First, your reaction to the reshuffle, and then whether there's merit in what Samson Ahi is demanding that the president should have a rating and have somebody from the Western North in his ministerial setup.
It should appear to you that the reshuffle that the president has just done or did yesterday was intended to spite us as Ghanaians.
Why?
Why? Why do you conduct a reshuffle when you are just 8 months to exit in office? When majority of your ministers that you are appointed into office are members of parliament, where they will have to shuttle between their constituencies and the office. And at this present time, their interests will lie squarely with maintaining their seats at the constituency. And when the clarion call for you to shift the chips and make sure you bring more competent people or people with fresh ideas, he fiercely resisted that and called those who made those calls as naysayers. So to do a reshuffle in this manner, 8 months to an election, means one, you could have done it. He could have done it. At the time the calls were being made, he could have done it. Why didn't he do it? Two, he's done it in such a way as to slap us in the face. I have said elsewhere that I have known Akufo-Addo, the president, to be an obstinate old man. He is so intransigent, put pressure on you. He says, well, you say you want reshuffle, get your reshuffle. And then he does it to spite us. And that's what he's done. That's what he's done. These people who have been appointed or reassigned or reappointed will make an meaningful impact in the government. They need, on average, about 6 months to study the rudiments of the new portfolios that have been given. And then before they settle in, we are going for elections. and then they have to be shuttling between the ministries and their constituencies. And we know what that means. Even with people who are not, who were initially occupying those offices, majority of them, or most of them, fail to attend Parliament because of the duties of their office. And now, they are facing the duties of Parliament, there's the constituency, and then the duties of a ministry. So I don't think they will achieve much. I think that Nana Akufo-Addo has slapped us in the face.
What about the concerns raised by Samson Ahi that there is no representation from the Western North?
Clearly means that the reshuffle has not been inclusive enough. Clearly. I mean, if you think that you are going to create an all-inclusive government and you are going to share the pie by regional representation, Western North should have a representation. And so the fact that they are not there is a legitimate concern that for a reshuffle of this nature to occur and the whole region is excluded from the reshuffle means that the reshuffle is not inclusive enough.
All right. Thank you so much, Council Yunus Afuseni, former Member of Parliament for Tamale Central. He served as Lands and Natural Resources Roads Minister during the Mahama administration. This is a pause here on Journey. We'll take a short break. We'll be back.